Today, the Interior Department released their draft proposed 5-year offshore drilling plan. If drilling is allowed off the East Coast of the United States, it puts our beaches, our fishermen, and our environment in the crosshairs for an oil spill that could devastate our shores. Offshore oil spills don't respect state boundaries. A spill off the coast of North Carolina could affect Massachusetts. A spill off the coast of Georgia could affect New Jersey. That's why in August, the senators who are standing here today joined in asking Secretary Jewell to protect the East Coast from drilling. We saw what happened after the BP spill. My state's fishing and tourism industry can't afford that kind of tragedy. And just a few years after Superstorm Sandy, we saw a powerful storm race up the East Coast this week. My state is dealing with wind gusts topping 70 miles per hour. Why should we put drilling rigs off our coast and put them in the paths of these storms that are getting supercharged by climate change? The oil industry is breaking records for oil and gas production, but they are still sounding like a broken record, saying that new areas are needed to drill. Big Oil is calling for opening the East Coast to drilling. At the same time, they are pushing for Congress to lift the 4-decade ban on exporting American oil. Oil companies want to drill off our shores, then ship that oil away from our shores to foreign nations where they can get a higher price. It is outrageous to ask our citizens to risk an oil spill so that foreign nations can fill their tanks with our oil. How do I know that? Because I made that amendment year after year over on the House floor, that if there is drilling off of the East Coast, the oil must stay in the United States, and the Republicans every single time voted no, that it could still be exported. So the issue then would be, why should we run the risk to the fishing industry, to the tourism industry on the East Coast, when this oil is probably destined for exportation outside of our own country? And the proposed plan would open the East Coast at a time when Congress has still failed to put in place the safety reforms recommended following the BP Deepwater Horizon disaster. The independent Blue Ribbon BP Spill Commission, co-chaired by former Bush EPA Administrator William Riley and former United States Senator Bob Graham, has given Congress a grade of D+ on its legislative response to the BP oil spill. Nearly 5 years after the spill, we have still not enacted key drilling safety reforms, such as raising the liability cap for an offshore spill and increasing the civil penalties that can be levied against oil companies which violate the law. We shouldn't allow oil companies to get away with a slap on the wrist when they spill oil off the shores of the United States of America. In 2 days, the Interior Department will hold a lease sale on offshore wind off of the coast of Massachusetts. That's the direction we should be heading. There has never been a tragic wind energy spill. The same gusts that are battering my state today could be powering a new generation of safe, clean energy jobs powered by a wind revolution.